Hey there, Carrie Mitchell from Healing Invisible Illness, and I am so excited to be here today with Becky Watson. So, if you are one of those people who is looking at the calendar, tomorrow is December 1st already, and wondering how on earth you're going to get everything done and not lose your mind, stick around, because today's interview is all about how to actually manage effective, simple times of stopping and slowing and regrounding when there is really no time for that, when we have to keep going because there's way too many things to do. So here we are. Oh, and also I want to say, if you love the idea of these interviews, but you never actually get time to watch them on Facebook, click the link below and I will send you not only the link to watch the video itself, but like the Reader's Digest version of all the great stuff that we talk about. So if you're one of those people, and I know there's many of you out there, who love the idea but don't ever actually get it watched, click that link below and get signed up to actually receive these things in your inbox. Okay, that's the business end of things. All right, so Becky Watson is our guest today. She runs Peach Blossom Yoga in Greenville, South Carolina, and her work is focused on the yoga therapy and helping empty nester women find like passion and drive and purpose again, really in that moment of really challenging, awkward transition of, oh my God, the kids are gone. Who am I anymore? So Becky, thank you so much for being here. I really am excited about this and I appreciate your time spending with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Yay. So first, why don't you talk a little bit about what yoga therapy is and how you use it, and then we'll go into this idea of how on earth do we stop when we have way too much go energy happening in us.
So yoga therapy is, and I know many people have heard about that bridge between the mind and the body. We take it to the next level. We bring that body into therapy and increase that connection. We work to help you figure out what's going on right now. Usually what's happening in your body is happening in your life. Mm-hmm. And what's happening in your life is happening in your body. So there's a connection, but you just have to listen to it. Yeah. So many of us walk around living our life from our heads up. We don't even acknowledge our body. You know, there's aches and there's pains and you're like, whatever. We just ignore it. But your body's talking to you. It has so much to say. And when you take that chance to just sit and listen, all the wisdom that comes out is just amazing.
Awesome. Wow. That is so cool. It's when you mentioned that we ignore our bodies and those little aches and pains, that totally reminded me of this thing I've got going on with my foot right now. And we just do this all the time where, yeah, it's there. If I spent a half hour with energy work, I could, deal with it, but I don't have time. And I tell myself I don't have time. I think I don't have time, but instead I'm just like living with this pain all day long. And so just acknowledging this is something we all do all the time.
We do. And when we ignore it, your body just talks louder and louder and louder until you finally say, Uncle, I give, what, you go to the doctor or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. And so your work is kind of catching people in that place before they have to go to the doctor, get surgery, whatever, and helping them learn to listen on a more daily basis.
Yes, and noticing that awareness every day of what's going on in your body, because once you start that conversation, you tune into yourself really well and you notice, no, I don't feel right today. What is going on? And you begin to connect to those emotions that are in the body. You begin to connect to what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. And I mean, I think that leads us directly to the bulk of what we want to talk about today, which is when we are busy, when we're in go mode, holiday season, it's hit. We already have the to-do list and all the things that have got to get done. What's the first step in starting to take care of ourselves so that we don't burn out? Where do we even start with it?
Yeah, I think the first thing is just to notice, just be aware. that, man, I am really frazzled today. I have spent every bit of energy and I don't have anything left.
Right.
You know, just acknowledge it. Just be aware of it. Because if you don't acknowledge it, there's, you know, it's again living with blinders and drinking more caffeine, eating more sugar, trying to push through. But really what we need is just to stop for a few moments and just acknowledge where we are.
Why do you think it's hard to acknowledge? Why do you think we avoid that moment of acknowledgement?
I think it's a lot of fear of failure.
Okay.
You know, we're in denial. We don't want to say that I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't be super mom. I can't, you know, work 70 hours at work this week and still, you know, do throw that perfect party. I think we want to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
But we're not designed to do everything.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's really significant. If underneath everything, I have this fear of I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I should be able to push through, then I really am going to be reluctant to take any time to sit back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think that helps to know that it's no small thing to get over and actually to take that moment. Like, give yourself a break. This is a really big deal. Fear of failure is huge.
It is that, and like you said, not being enough.
Yeah.
For women especially, I'm not enough. I can't do enough. I can't, you know, be everywhere, but I want to.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I love that as the first acknowledgement that when we're pushing that hard, we're pushing because the fear of failure is like at our tails. It's like, yeah. Brene Brown, who's somebody I absolutely love, wrote in one of her books, I think it's Not Braving the Wilderness, I don't know, one of her amazing books. She wrote that when perfectionism is driving, fear of failure is riding shotgun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the big reason that we don't take the time to actually stop. Okay. So now that we have taken the awareness of, oh my God, I'm actually frazzled, I've pushed too hard, then what? That's a really uncomfortable place to sit in. What do we do with that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like to just start with a little and notice what it is that I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Do I need to eat something? Do I need to sit down and take a break? Do I need to cancel something? Delegate something? What do I need right now in order to feel better? Because if I feel better, I can actually accomplish more. It's like it's counterintuitive, pulling back in order to do more.
Yeah. Right.
But it really does work.
Right. Okay. Okay. And so in that moment of you've taken the pretty significant step to say, I'm frazzled, I'm committed here to more than I can actually legitimately do in the time frame. Then there's that awareness. And is that where we is that where we do yoga? Is that where how do we get tuned in to what we need? Because again, that shift from 100 miles an hour to pause at the rest area, that takes effort. And so what do we do to actually make that shift happen? I know breathing is it's always a powerful tool. Have I lost you? Oh no. It looks like, oh dear. It looks like Becky's computer has either paused or gone offline on her. I am sorry. I know she'll come back. I hope she'll come back. I tell you what, the realities of live interview and live anything. I don't know if any of you have ever done live theater or shows or anything like that. You never know what's going to happen. And so being able to like, oh, this is odd. Becky, can you hear me? She got nothing. All right. Well, here we are now. It's just you and me, as she tries to figure out
Yeah, hello.
whatever is going on her side sometimes.
Can you see me?
Yes, we
Okay.
can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, everything just went black on my end. I don't know what happened.
Okay. All right. So where we left off, when you last saw us, the beauty of this is after the live, I will re-edit this video so that none of that actually happens. Nobody will see it. The people who watched it live. Okay. So yeah, we're talking about that transition. How do you go from 100 miles an hour to stopped at the rest area? And I know that when we were talking before, we were talking about breathing as one of those techniques. But can you talk about why it's effective? We breathe all day long. How can we use breathing to do that, to help us make that shift?
It interrupts the cycle.
Okay.
It just stops things when you take that big, deep breath and let it all out.
Uh-huh.
It helps you to bring that awareness to your body.
Okay.
It brings you from your brain down into the body. But the biggest thing is just stopping that cycle for just that nanosecond.
Okay.
Lets you check in.
That doesn't seem possible. Is that really the truth, that it's that simple?
Yeah, just stopping for just a second, literally, and taking a deep breath can totally change everything for you. You can realize, oh, I need to sit down for just 1 minute.
Right.
You know, or maybe I need to walk away from the situation, or maybe I need a nap. Maybe I need some food. But just taking that deep breath and checking in, really make a huge difference. Yeah.
And doing so with the knowledge that if you get recharged, you'll be more effective at accomplishing the things on the list.
Right.
Than when we're spinning.
And that one breath is maybe not going to recharge you completely, but it can lead you down the path to what you need.
Okay. Okay. I know that I have some comments. I know I'm not the only person who's like, yeah, whatever, when it comes to exactly this kind of advice. And yet I've done it and I use it and I coach people in it myself. But there are all of these, obstacles that we throw up to avoid doing this, to kind of protect us from that fear of failure. So I guess it's just like, trust Becky on this one. Trust her that taking that deep breath, instead of continuing that pushing forward of, I don't have time, I got to get this done, there's things next, and everything's piling on top of you, it will shift your body to where you can start to understand what is important and what's not. Is that kind of what we're going for at this point, Becky?
Yeah, and it does take practice. Learning to read your body, it takes practice. That first time you take a breath, it's not going to say, okay, I need blah, everything. It does take a little practice learning to communicate with your body again. But there is so much wisdom there. It will tell you exactly what you need if you begin that conversation.
Okay. That's awesome. I love the simplicity of that. I want to think that it's harder than that.
Yeah.
But I love the simplicity. So from there, what other techniques do you use to help a person slow down?
My favorite is restorative yoga.
Okay.
I've been teaching it for years, and I've been practicing it almost daily.
Wow.
Longer. I know from my own personal experience, I get into that frazzled state like everybody else. I've got to do this, oh, and there's 5 more things. Let's add that to the list. And I get like, oh my gosh, I've got to get it all done. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. And I have found through my own practice that when I stop and take 20 minutes, I turn myself around. I'm not in that frazzled state. I actually get more things done in the end.
Okay.
I have to make myself stop.
Okay.
And I agree. It's not easy. But from my own learned experience, when I stop, better.
Okay. And so through the yoga therapy, have you found that there are specific poses that a person could put themselves in that are like more effective, more useful? What do you suggest with people?
You could simply lay on the floor.
Okay.
Shavasana, if you've been to a yoga class, you're simply laying there, closing your eyes. You can put a blanket under your head, turn the lights out, whatever you need to relax. But one of my favorites is an inversion.
Okay.
And an inversion is simply just getting those feet lifted off the floor higher than your heart, right? It doesn't have to be high, but my favorite version is just to stick my legs in the futon in my office and lay back on the floor.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's like I'm sitting in a chair, but on my back, right? So it's the same position, but it's an inversion. And I will lay there for 15, 20 minutes and come out a totally different person. I have energy again. I'm focused. I have the best ideas. I know where I need to go next.
Wow.
You just have to do that stop.
I have always felt that position and feet up against the wall are incredibly satisfying. Like, oh my God, why? What's happening? Why is that such a satisfying and useful thing to do?
Inversions are helping to bring extra fluid out of your legs.
Okay.
That's, one of the main benefits of an inversion, but they're also calming the nervous system.
Okay.
In our December, let's take December, we're go, like you said earlier, it's like sprint to the finish line of Christmas, right?
Right.
And we've got our nervous system on active duty constantly.
Totally.
And when you stop and go into an inversion, it's turning the clock backwards. It's changing you from that go to the stop and giving your body that chance to recover.
Wow.
And it's that simple recovery that makes the difference in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. In a lot of these interviews, we talk about that shift between sympathetic and parasympathetic state, the up and go nervous system and the rest and relax nervous system. This sounds like a very simple and quick shortcut to get from go to rest.
15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day.
Wow.
Change your life.
Wow.
By letting you recover in that period, your body will be healthier, your blood pressure will be lower, you'll like your family more, you'll be more creative. You just have more energy.
Okay.
But you have to let yourself stop.
So when is the most effective time to be doing this? Is it first thing in the morning? Is it the end of the day? Or is it in the middle of the craziness?
It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. I wouldn't say first thing in the morning because you've just woken up.
Okay.
You're probably not needing it. Right. Middle of the day is a great time for me. Mm-hmm. I have that low period where I need that energy back. So I will rest for 15, 20 minutes and come out totally different. Nighttime is a really great time if you're one of these people who can't turn your brain off. Mm-hmm. If you're on, constant thoughts going through your head as you're trying to sleep. Okay. And if you do that inversion right before you go to bed, it's telling your body that rest is coming. Okay. And when you're rested, you'll actually get to sleep better. Right. Yeah. Okay. I know like 6 people immediately I have to text this to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I actually heard 2 things that I need you to explain. The one is that midday, if you do this, it'll let you rest and then you have more energy to move through the rest of the day. And the other is in the evening before bed, you rest and it'll actually allows you to go to sleep. Those, I can see how they're similar, but they sound different. Can you explain how the difference works? Either way, you're letting that parasympathetic nervous system recover from all the activity. Okay. And even if you're doing the restorative yoga in the middle of the day, you're still going to rest better at night. Right. It's just that if you do it right before bed, it's signaling to your body that sleep is coming. Awesome. Yeah. But for me, it works really well in the middle of the day just because of the way my energy cycles are. Okay. I'm a night owl. Middle of the afternoon was a little bit of a lull in my energy. And so I let myself rest and then I recover.
Okay. So instead of going for that 3 p.m. coffee,
Yep.
20 minutes with your feet up, just elevated above your heart, and not on Facebook, I assume.
Right.
Right. Okay. Because that has to be the other part of this that is critical. It's like you're actually not doing anything.
You can set a timer. A lot of people will fall asleep when they do this.
Okay.
Usually because you're sleep deprived. That's part of what we're doing to ourselves, right? We're going constantly. So yeah, I always set a timer because I have been known to fall asleep. But it's okay. It just means I'm tired.
Right.
I needed that break.
Yeah. Right. Give yourself permission for a 20-minute break.
Yeah, but definitely turn off the phone. Turn off. You don't need to be on Facebook. You can listen to quiet music while you do it.
Okay.
If that works for you.
Okay. Okay.
Covering the eyes is a really great
right.
thing to do as well. Helps block out the world.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. I love these ideas. What else? I guess my other question is, can we do it wrong? We're so type A, especially those of us who need this conversation. Is it possible to do it wrong? And other than like scrolling Facebook while you're doing it, how much do we need to be thinking? I guess if we can fall asleep, I don't know.
My only advice on that would be if it hurts, maybe you need a little cushion under something. Okay. Some people need a little bit under their tailbone.
Okay.
And that's okay. But if it hurts, just adjust. Because it definitely should not, in restorative yoga, if it hurts, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
You can put a blanket under your head. You might get cool while you do it, so you can cover yourself up.
Right.
As your blood pressure lowers down, people do tend to cool off.
Right.
But you're really not going to do it wrong.
Okay.
Unless you're hanging out in a position that hurts. And that's defeating the purpose.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I can't tell you how often I get that question from people like, am I doing it right? Yeah. And often that is my response. Do you feel better or do you feel worse?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't feel better, then it needs to be tweaked a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So 20 minutes midday in that low energy point where you're really not being productive anyway. You're probably on social media or farting around. Taking that time to actually lay on a floor, get your feet up, and rest. And then you can actually be effective for the rest of the afternoon. Awesome. And then also, I have so many insomniac friends and clients. Hello, insomniacs. Try this. For God's sake, try this before bed. Lay on the floor. Put your feet up higher than your head.
It's free. It's easy. You could do it at the wall. You can do it at the sofa. You could, it doesn't take any special equipment.
Okay.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah, right. It's worth a shot. It's so much easier than Ambien.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. When we talked earlier, we talked about the idea of flexible mind and flexible body. One of the things that I've seen being super critical in healing from all of these chronic illnesses that don't go away is that our body needs more resilience. We've got to build more resilience into the nervous systems to be able to shift from parasympathetic to sympathetic, back and forth. Will you talk a little bit about how restorative yoga can help that flexible mind, flexible body so that we can more easily shift on the fly, essentially?
Yeah, we're so stuck in that go that our body doesn't know how to shift.
Yeah.
And when you let it have that practice of, oh, this is what stop is, then it does learn to shift more easily. Practice, definitely practice. And at the same time, you're talking about the chronic illnesses, doing restorative yoga, it's amazing for that because it helps your body heal.
Yeah.
Even if you can't cure it, you
Right.
can get yourself to a better state so that you can exist with it. Just being in that healing, that place of healing, can do so many things for your body. Whereas if you're in the go all the time, it can't repair, it can't take care of itself or put you at optimum levels. So just taking that to stop. And it is definitely a learned thing. With teaching the classes that I've done, the restorative yoga classes over the years, I will say it is hardest for type A people to come into a class and just lay there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They look at me like I've lost my mind. I'm not doing anything.
Totally.
And I tell them, you're benefiting more than anybody else in here. You just need to be there. Just rest. And, some of them never come back. I admit it. But I have people who come back, a year later, and they're like, this is my favorite hour of the week. Yeah. I have just laid on the floor for an hour, and they, report feeling better. They report, sometimes they're coming down off their blood pressure medicine, all kinds of healing benefits in their body. It just takes practice.
Right. Wow. As you say that, my whole body is like, I want to go find the yoga class. Because we don't ever give ourselves permission to lay on the floor for an hour, like bedtime. And even then, we don't sleep well. Sometimes bedtime is not even very restful.
No, but a restorative yoga class, we'll put you in as comfortable position as we can.
Yeah.
When you do that, the body it's like layers of an onion. It just starts to relax more and more and more, so that at the end of an hour, you're kind of like Jell-O.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay. And so you do teach online?
I do one-on-one therapy sessions. I do online.
Okay. So yeah, if anybody is like me going, oh my God, I need that. This actually is not quite the right one, but it's BeckyWatsonYoga.com. You can connect with her there, and she will hook you up with one-on-one classes for this to actually give yourself a break. And you don't have to leave the house. How amazing would that be, right? Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to take this off the screen for a second because it cuts off your beautiful face. Okay. And then I actually do want to talk about the somatic connection. Somatic connection to as the doorway into the mindset. Sometimes we try to think our way into relaxed state, or we try to reason our way into the slowdown. But the somatic connection that you were talking about the other day is just like, it's, again, it's another shortcut, and we give our brains a break. Can you just describe that, why that works?
It's that mind-body connection that I was talking about. And what's happening in your body is happening in your mind, happening in your life, and vice versa. So the more you go, the more your body tightens up.
Right.
That's where you take that deep breath and just notice what's happening. You notice, oh, I am as tight as can be. But if you relax your body, the mind starts to unwind.
Okay. I hope people heard that.
Yeah.
We don't emphasize this enough in this culture, in this world. If you relax your body, your mind starts to slow down. So if your mind spins all night and you're one of those people who can never really get to sleep, or you don't sleep deeply, more of this somatic, this body relaxation will slow the mind down. Is that right?
It will. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, late at night is great, but if you can only fit it in the middle of the afternoon, it actually will help you sleep better too at night. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. That's the simplest thing ever. Breathing. recognizing the thing is happening. And sometimes we have to have our little red flags put in place to say, if I'm going for that 3 p.m. latte, something is wrong. Like, there's another way to get through life beyond the 3 p.m. latte. Because it becomes so normal that we're like, oh, it's just time for my afternoon coffee. And I mean, totally guilty. But yeah, so being aware of it and recognizing that it feels like there's a lot at stake. It feels like I will be a failure. I will hit my I'm not good enough stuff if I stop to take a breath. Like, that's ugly stuff. And if you've watched this video this long, I know that you know what that's like, to be up against your I'm not good enough. And just recognize that it's not true. You know it's not true. You know it's just one of your inner gremlins. But if you can get over that hump long enough to stop, check in with your body, and ask, what do you need right now? Do you need a nap? Or do you need to just sit with your feet up on the couch for 20 minutes? And actually doing that is going to reset you enough to be effective the rest of the day. It can't, yeah, it doesn't get more simple than that. We just have to trust enough to try it.
Yeah, and once you try it, you become a believer.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so for my listeners, I want to know how it's going. Can you do this? Why are you not doing this? Because I know this isn't the first time you've heard this advice. What comes up for you when you're in the crazy and you know you should do better, you should take care of yourself? Why do you not? Like, why are you not doing this thing? Because it is that simple. And for anyone who is doing this, I want to hear how it goes. Like, what does it feel like? Because we all need that aspirational, oh my God, I can do it. Okay. So yes, that's what I want to hear about from you. And then before we go, there it is again. I want to let you know about another offer that Becky has, because she works with empty nesters in this amazing and difficult transition time. They're on the screen, BetsyWatsonYoga.com/empty nester. She has an offer for you. And so Becky, will you describe that?
Yeah, it's 6 steps to uncover your next path.
Okay.
It helps you make a few connections with what's going on right now in your life.
Wow.
Maybe it's time to start focusing on you again.
Right.
Most likely it is. if your kids have just left home, it's time to, change your focus. And it's a scary place to be because you've spent so many years focusing on those kids.
Totally.
A lot of moms just don't know who they are anymore.
I can see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This just helps you begin to rediscover who
Awesome.
you are and where you want to go.
Cool. Oh, what a gift. Thank you so much. Oh, I have really, really enjoyed this interview. I am going to, as soon as we got off here, lay on the floor with my feet up for 20 minutes and then deal with the rest of my day. Thank you again. And yes, for anyone who, and I guess at this point in the interview, this is a moot point, but if you want to be notified of these interviews in the future, and if you want the Reader's Digest version of all the great stuff, sign up at the link below. I'll send it to you every week. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. I will see you next week. And I forget who we're talking to, but we have an awesome interview lined up. All right. Thanks again, Becky. And do you have any parting thoughts about what's important about any of this?
20 minutes. Just take 20 minutes. That's all you need.
Awesome. Yay. Okay. All right. I can take 20 minutes. Anybody else watching? Comment below if you can take 20 minutes, and we will hold you accountable somehow. There will be people here who will ask you if you did your 20 minutes, I swear. All right. Okay. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. And if the software works the way I think it will,